I looked at the video and it appears the video stopped a little sooner than I wanted in terms of the time limit, so thought I would put together a second video and let's take some time to finish up the last two problems instead of waiting until Monday. So back to that previous problem, we're trying to pair up things so that the angles match up perfectly, the sides that have the same markings are matching up, and Euclid calls this idea superimposing. So if two triangles, two shapes can be superimposed one top of the other where all the angles match up, segments match up, those, he would call those shapes congruent. Same shapes, same measurements, in the same order. So these two triangles here, these two examples here, we should superimpose one triangle on top of the other, and so that the angles and sides match up. So if I would do triangle EAR on the left, and I would superimpose the triangle on the right on top of the triangle on the left, what would be the order of the letters in terms of the vertices? Same thing for the second example. So go ahead and do that, turn the video back on when you're ready to look at the answers. So E is the first letter, and it would match up with T since they both have double tick marks. A being the second letter would get matched up with I, and then E and R both being single tick marks would be the third letters. Please do not always assume that because the letters are spelling the word like here, tin, and old, that they always spell a word. And the last second triangle in the second example is new. Actually, the answer is not triangle new. So O is a triple, so E gets paired up with the triple, which is W. L is the second letter, which is the double. E gets paired up with the E. And then the D and the N are both single tick mark angles, so they're the last letters. I generally don't spend a lot of time looking at side lengths in terms of the letters. I just want to make sure the angles match up first, and then I go back and double check. So, for example, OL being the first two letters, it has the single tick mark, so WE being the first two letters should also have the single. LD being the last two letters, that would be the triple, and EN being the last two letters should also be a triple, which it is. And then the last set, they both are doubles. Back at the first triangle, EA being the first two letters, and TI being the first two letters, they share the same markings. And so EA is a single, and TI is also a single. And then AE and N being the last two, and IN being the last two should also have the same tick marks, which is a triple and also a triple, and double. So, take a moment. Don't assume that because the angles match up, that the tick marks, the sides will also match up. So sometimes it takes a little extra effort just to make sure that everything does align properly. In this last example, we're looking at trying to mark the sides and the angles of tick marks. Again, I think it's always best to start off with the angles, looking at vertex to vertex, and then compare sides. So go ahead, if not, mark these. Go ahead and mark those and then turn the video back on when you're ready to continue. So Q and M are the first letters, so that means those angles are congruent to each other since the shape is congruent. And then P and R being the second letters, P in the first triangle, R in the second triangle would be the same. And then R in the third triangle, first triangle, and N in the second triangle, they would have the same markings. So if I would start at Q and go to R, so to P then R, we're going clockwise. For the second triangle, I'm going M to R to N, I'm also going clockwise. So QP being the first two letters, and MR being the first two letters get marked the same. And if I go clockwise, PR and NR will be marked the same. And then the last letters, which would be Q, R, and NW, would get marked the same. So think about it again, if I go clockwise around the shape, based on, in most cases, I'm going clockwise on the shape, make sure that, again, they are getting marked the same way as you go around the shape. So QP and MR, first two letters, PR, the last two letters, and RN, The last two letters, again, should be marked the same as well, which they are the double tick marks. All right, so starting with the last example, angle S and angle U would be marked the same. Angle U and angle S would be marked the same. And angle T and angle X would be marked the same. We're starting at S and going to U, so we're going to be going clockwise. And the other one, we're starting at U and going to S, and also we're going clockwise. So in both cases, we're starting at SU and US. So we're actually marking the same segment for both triangles. So if I go clockwise, that would mean that TU and SX would be the same, and then ST and UX would get marked the same. So keep in mind that the last two letters, UT and SX, should be marked the same. UT is a double, and SX is also the double. So they are marked the same. So you always check the first two letters as a segment, and then the last two letters as another segment, just to kind of verify that they have been marked the same way. All right, so you have one more activity to do. It's lesson 1-6. Definition about quadrilaterals. Quite a few of those we've already talked about. And then there's an activity involving putting two triangles together to make the quadrilaterals using 4 special triangles. And then whatever time remains after that is homework time to work on the assignments that are due for this week and into next week.